Garfield look to be a much improved side after a horrid one-win season in 2022. Can they take a massive scalp today against a premiership contender in the Goon? Welcome back to the West Gippsland Football League Game of the Round, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes for what should be a terrific clash between the Garfield and Nana Goon footy clubs. I'm your commentator, Bailey Allen, joined today for the first time in 2023. My co-commentator, Aidan Box. How are you going, Aidan?
I'm great. It's great to be here, mate, and making my debut on a beautiful day. The ground looks terrific as well.
Yeah, well, Nana Goon, I think they had some upgrades to their field over the off-season, because I remember coming here last year and the entire place was covered in mud, so pretty fine conditions as well. It was a bit rainy before, but it seems to be overcast now. And the last time these two sides matched up was all the way in round 2 of 2022, I believe, and it was... round 12, and Garfield lost by a total of 98 points, and then round 2 they lost by 56 points to Nana Goon as well. So Garfield would be looking to bounce back against a side that has been pretty dominant over them the past year or so, and they've had a great start to their year so far. Win against Dalston in round 17, but this year beating Coralline by 25 and they lost to Coralline by 25, but then they went over to Bunyip last round in the Tom Cleary Cup and won by 57.
Yeah, so Garfield, obviously, young side last year. They got a new coach come in, and they had a lot of buy-in though, and I think this year they've already shown improvement. They beat their rivals Bunyip last week, and I expect this contest to be a bit closer than the ones last year.
Yeah, of course, Nana Goon last week got a victory over Kui Rup by 88. They were challenged by Kui Rup for that first half, mainly because of their inaccuracy throughout that contest. But after half-time, we really saw the potential in this Goon side, and they just absolutely put full throttle into it by the time the third quarter started. And it was guys like Dion Bovida, who was really good. He kicked 4 goals. Dermot Yorney, who's not playing today, I think he's out for about 3 to 4 weeks with a hand injury, but he kicked 3 as well. Trent Burgoyne, the former Port Adelaide player, he kicked a bag as well. And if we want to talk about goal kickers for Garfield, it was Jack Tennis Greenall, who kicked a bag of 5 last week against Bunyip. So could be some heavy goal scoring today in what could be a shootout.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day for it as well. There was a bit of rain on my way in, but we haven't had any at all. And leading up to 2 o'clock, it looks like an absolute cracker of an afternoon at Nana Goon. Perfect day for you.
So coming into this contest in round 3, Nana Goon sitting at 4th, Garfield at 5th. Of course, the sample size isn't the biggest at the moment, but Garfield have just, even with that loss against Coralline in round 1 by 25 points, I was unfortunately not there for that game, but from what I heard, their improvement was just tremendous, and Coralline, they're no easy side to beat, especially at Coralline as well. So both sides lining up. Absolutely no win today. So goal kicking should be no issue. It's Eamon Trigg in the ruck going against Cooper Riley. And whilst we're waiting, do you have a prediction for today, Aidan?
I think the Goon will run away in the second half, and I've got him, as the siren goes, I've got him by 6 goals or more.
6 goals, you heard it. Trigg in the ruck takes out a big leap. Tried to get out the hit out there, but was just a bit successful, and then couldn't get to ground level either. So a quick stoppage. Trent Armour was at the bottom of the pack there. So almost back where we started again. Couldn't get the hit out. Did Trigg that time. The ball still spits out though. Going inside 50. Bovida had a big game last week, and that's a great lead to start off. Looked a bit sore going to ground, but no, he's going to be fine hopping up. So looks to be about maybe 45 or so out. Little bit of an angle, but Bovida can certainly kick this. He is just a classy player. Played with the Basson last year. And this would be a great start for the Goon. Lets it fly and just goes to the right.
Yeah, it's a great start from the Goon there in the middle. You can see they're really composed and really good at the contested ball inside. As Garfield go up to the flank right in front of us here in the scoreboard, and the ball goes out of bounds. So it'll be Trigg and Riley again. First minute of this contest. Ball goes in, it's tapped to the front by Riley. There's no one there to pick it up though. And it's picked up by Tennis Greenhole there. No, sorry, Evans. And we'll have another stoppage. It's balled up again, same two ruckman. This time Trigg just punches it inside 50. It's picked up there by his teammate in Hernan. Here's it out. Here's a chance. Jed Murphy to the top of the goal square. Bo Vitter's back there. Good defence there not to infringe. Still a chance here for the Goon. Can't quite pick it up cleanly though. Garfield trying to knock this one out of bounds, and they do.
And we're seeing Trent Armour having an impact early on. He's just such a beast at the stoppages. Loves a clearance, and we saw their later good tackle just in front of us there. As the ball is now deep inside the 50 of Nana Goon. Garfield have got to be classy here to get out. Going further towards the arc with Matt Homfray for Nana Goon, and he's going to go underneath the pack, and another stoppage, this time a little bit further out for the Goon. So ball up and about half forwards, taps along by Herman. He's going to go on the run and he's going to kick one. Or he's going to miss rather. So Goon seems to be inaccurate again. Last week, we know they almost lost that first half because of that inaccuracy, and we're now at the wing, intercept by Nana Goon.
So this is Parker. Goes up the line, and it's a good kick, and it's Homfray. He wheels and goes and puts it into the pocket. Can Bo Vitter get up? No. Punch to the ground. Chasing it is Burgoyne. Can he be electric here? Goes to the top of the goal square, and that one's punched through. So 3 straight behinds to start this one for the Goon. They're pressing though. Garfield struggling to get it over halfway. What can they do here? He's got options. This will be Pickering. Goes up the line now. Hugging the boundary. This is Murphy. Goon setting up well behind the ball. Might have to consider the switch here. Goes up the line. It's a good kick. And this is Zach Suter. Suter goes up the line again. Some nice kicking here. Slow ball movement. The skill's been good on a perfect day for footy.
They're breaking that Nana Goon zone really well at the moment, and they just had to kick it down the line, unfortunately. So it's going to be Armour trying to get his side back into us, and he knocks it over the boundary line. But it's interesting to see that from Garfield. You saw Nana Goon setting up the zone across the wing there, and just the classic chip to try break through that, Aiden.
Yeah, that's something they're going to have to do. You know that Nana Goon, they're a contender, and they're really well coached, so they're going to be set up well all day. And it looks like Garfield are really stuck to that method, and it's really paid off on that last play. They sort of had to kick down the line in the end and crush the contest, but I think if they do that all day, that'll hold them in good stead.
So at the central wing on the broadcast side, whistle's blown. Umpire's going to say it's holding the man. Trigg was spun around a little bit. Who's going to get the free kick here? I think that is Armour there, or maybe Smith. Couldn't see the number there. Goes in towards Pipicelli, who's playing up forward today. It's Parker trying to crash through the pack. Then off to Pipicelli again. Going into the forward pocket. Runs around, does Purcell. On the right, chasing for it is Jed Smith. Running. Can he snap it around? Evades one. Nearly evaded two. Bo Vitter just wasn't close enough to the footy at the end of the day. And we should have a stoppage at full forward. And Nana Goon have really done well there with their small forwards pressuring there. Just absolute class. Pipicelli lurking, or perhaps he'll go in the ruck instead. Tapped out further towards the arc, and it's been a lot of stoppage early on, but Nana Goon, they're looking dangerous, but kudos to Garfield. They've been good in their defensive 50. And it's going to be Jake Smith who pushes it over the line there. He had a great game last week.
It's real arm wrestle in Goon's forward half at the moment. Garfield are holding up really well. It's really desperate defence. It's great to see, but the Goon, you think they're going to kick a goal at some point here. They're pressing really hard. So the ball comes in. It goes over the back. Might have been a push, but it's taken well there by Zakari, and he goes up the line, but it's almost intercepted. It would have paid that, I would have thought. Anyway, it falls to the ground, and another free kick probably gone unpaid there, but the Goon are working it well. Kick inside 50 goes over the head there of the forward though, and the ball will go back out of bounds where it started.
And they're going to have to be smart moving outside of defensive 50 Garfield. You see Nana Goona setting up really well behind the ball to start off this contest, and they've set that wall up really nicely. So Garfield are just going to have to be classy. So we see an out on the full call there. I believe that was Burgoyne who kicks that one. He had 3 last week in the smashing of Kui Rupp, and it'll be a free kick in the pocket for Nanagoon, or sorry, rather Garfield Evans, kicking it long and high. Couldn't reach a target in the end. It was still Sutar searching for it, trying to get it out of there desperately, but the mids for Nanagoon are working really hard. And this has just been an ultimate battle in the middle. I wouldn't say the contested possession difference would be really that big. It's been pretty even to start off this day. Griffiths gave a bit of punch, playing a bit of ping pong there with, I think it was Eamon Trigg, and then Armour. He loves to kick a goal from the midfield and spits it out eventually. And then it was Bettio who handed it off, kicking towards goal, and that is another behind for the Goon.
Gee whiz, they just can't find the middle ones at the moment. They look really dangerous, but it's just that class and polish that you mentioned before. I just wonder if Garfield can withhold this for much longer. That's very tight kick there to Pickering. The umpire was right there though. He did mark it inside play. They're still using that short ball. It's working well. Here's Murphy. He'll go up the line to Barnes. Really hugging the boundary. Or little loopy one, but it gets there to Dalton. He hands off back to Pickering. He's done well here in this play. Unfortunately, the kick didn't quite favour the man, and it's intercepted by the Goon.
Once again, you saw there, they just had to stay really close to that boundary line because they were set up all throughout the middle there. So classy work from Nana Gooners. I think it was JJ Petty there kicking it. Now Murphy, the skipper for Garfield, hands it off. Dalton found himself in trouble. Pipicelli was really pressuring. That's not going to go 15. Murphy still almost took a mark. Now it's Smith going inside 50. Gives it off to Purcell. Could he try something cheeky here? No, he's going to centralise it. And that is Herman. Or sorry, not Herman. It's going to be Matt Homfrey, who took a nice mark running away from the goals, and this probably should be Garfield's first major of the day. 15 outs. Homfrey finds it.
So finally, a bit of reward for hard work there. They had to slog for it, but that last play is probably the best they've had since the opening clearance and shot by Bovita. But you just see the work rate there. Finally capped off with the goal, and it was working with hands, and it was a great kick by Purcell across the face of goal to sort of the streaming Homfrey there, and he finally puts the Goon on the board with a major. Their first of the afternoon. So Garfield, see what they can do in the centre square here. They haven't got it quite past halfway yet. Goes up, Trigg gets the tap, but it's won there by Saws. He's almost claimed holding the ball, but it's dropped out in the tackle, and they all dive on it. We'll have another repeat stoppage in the centre circle. So they go at it again. I think there was a draw that tap, but it's one at the ground. Saws gets it out to the wing here. Little left foot kick, didn't quite see the target, and he runs over the footy, unfortunately. The Goon have won it back here, and they'll go inside 50 with Herman, and it's marked well. That's Pipicelli at the top of the goal square. And he should put this one through for back-to-back goals for the Goon. And he does. Looking strong at full forward today. Nate Pipicelli.
I was just going to say the same thing. Pipicelli played a bit of back last week, but in his roll-up forward, he has been really lively so far, and he used the body, his body perfectly there. Just to place the hands in the back, but not a push. And Nana Goon have just been all cylinders going, and I think Garfield have probably only had the one inside 50 entry, so they're just getting dominated at the centre stoppages at the moment. But let's see if they can try get one on the board here. Ball up in the centre square. It's Riley in the ruck, lost the trig again, who was just a superior ruckman. Armand trying to break through, could have been holding the ball. I think the umpire ruled he got a hand off to it in the end. Now brought to ground, and it was Brent Hughes who sent his opponent right into the turf, which is in great condition today, might I add, as we mentioned in the pre-game show.
So he'll be thrown up again. Trig wins it down, but it's taken well by Saws. He's come alive for Garfield, and he'll get the free. Giving them plenty in the guts at the moment. Looks for the 45 kick, and it's a good one. Right in the centre of the ground is Batson, and he pushes it further wide to the other side of the ground. I think this is Murphy on the other wing. It is. He's got an option at about 65 metres from goal. Now it's Garfield's first inside 50. He goes to the top of the square area, falls to the ground. It's taken really well there by Murphy for the Goon, and they work it outside 50. Searching kick though, probably had a bit too much air on it for the sort of kick he was sort of going for, and I think that's gone out on the full. It has. So Pickering will have the kick for Garfield. The Goon worked that out well there, but they unfortunately turned it over with that final kick. So Garfield have won it back. Let's see if they can get another inside 50. We go back. This is Batson again. They're looking middle, so this is good from Garfield. They're not batting down from their method. They're trying to open the Goon up here. Started using the switch kick. Their skills have been great really today. And that's something that's going to have to stay on point if they're any chance in this one, you'd think.
Yeah, their ball use when they've been uncontested has been really good. They obviously still have a bit of work to do at ground level, but this kicking here where they've been able to switch, I know they didn't find the right option there, so they've been a bit clogged up now as we see it's punched over the line by a Goon defender. But yeah, no, they've been going well. I'd like to see a bit more of the corridor used though, just a little bit more danger, or take a little bit more risk rather with their style of play, because Nana Goon are just on top at the moment. And Humphrey wins the hit out. Armour, he's been huge today, the skipper. Gets it out of the contest, kicks it long towards 50, and that's out in the full by Armour. So Garfield retain possession. Probably should run a switch here, but we'll see if they want to stay on this wing. And in fact, they will. So plays on does the star player, and couldn't be marked by Garfield or Nana Goon in the end of the day. And another stoppage, Aiden.
So that's something you've really got to do, I think, on this ground. It's probably one of the widest in the competition. It's really sort of thick and elongated wings. So if you use the switch kick effectively, and you can really stretch a team and really tire them out if it comes off. So I think Garfield, that'll be something they should really look to do today, and stretch the Goon out, sort of tire them out, take a bit of spice out of the contest, because you could see that the Goon just want to run and gun, and they do it quite well. They get numbers to a lot of the contests and move the ball with hands, like a lot of the top teams do, really fast down the ground. So we'll have another stoppage centre wing. Goes up. No one really won that tap. Ball comes up to the forward flank for Goon. It's bunched well by Murphy, for Garfield. He's having a great first quarter down in defence, providing plenty on the way out, but then defending really stoutly when the ball comes in as well. The ball will be thrown in. Comes to the ground. No one can really get a hand to it, so it's booted off the deck. It's a true centre half forward now, and that was a bit clumsy from Nana Goon there. And Garfield will win the free kick at centre half back through Dalton. He'll go back. He's got an option there. It's Jet Pickering. He goes quickly, and the ball hits the deck, but it's taken well there by Evans. Great pick up, and he'll go up the line. They're using that quick kicking again. Now we'll see a handball, and it's Murphy providing plenty again. He's up on the wing right in front of the crowd here at Nana Goon, and he'll put the whole ball high up to the forward flank. Should have probably been intercepted there by Nana Goon. And there's a bit of a scrap, and we'll have a ball up.
And that's what you want to see more if you're a Garfield fan. You don't want to be stuck in. Oh no, I know it sounds harsh, but you don't want to be stuck in that sort of Fremantle sort of footy where you're playing really slow, really safe, chip to chip sort of footy. Because Nana Goon, they're just going to run with you all day. So. It was good to see a little bit of speed there from Garfield as they're running onto the ball there. Burgoyne looking dangerous, and then Herman was able to crumb it, got his player high there in Jonathan Suarez, and a stoppage at centre wing here. So Garfield have remained competitive. They've had a majority of possession in this last couple of minutes. As Armour, he's just such a bull, isn't he? Gets it off to Herman, who kicks it inside 50, looking for the big Pipicelli, who takes a one-handed grab. And he would already be in the vote consideration today, directly in front, 40 or so out, and he is looking for his second of the day, Nate Pipicelli. The 196-centimetre key forward today. Perfect swing man, former Gippy Power player Pipicelli has missed.
So that's what I was talking about before. Garfield have got to be really aware of that, because if they don't really stretch Goon out and tire them out, they're going to hurt them on the other way, going the other way, and they work that really quickly. And once they go direct, it's really hard to defend, especially when you're undersized in that instance. Barnes was. So it goes back inside 50 now, though. The Goon look lively again. Sitting out on his own. There was... Oh, sorry. It's picked up and taken for goal by Parker, but he's missed as well. So the Goon really inaccurate today to start. They've had heaps of chances, so that's something that Garfield will take as a positive. They could well be about 4 or 5 goals down at the moment, but Nana Goon haven't made them pay on the scoreboard.
Well, Nana Goon have been inaccurate, but Garfield's defensive pressure has been brilliant once they've entered inside 50 as well. So it's certainly a positive going into quarter time, like you said, Aiden. As the ball rolls out of the pack there, then Smith, big handball down to his man in for Nana Goon, and then Herman, once again, able to get it out. Purcell is leading. Oh, just could have taken that mark, but dropped it. Now Burgoyne looks to snap from 40 out. Smith, can he get to it in time? No, it goes straight over the goal line on the full, and that is yes, another behind for the Goon. And Burgoyne's already got 2 to his name. So out of full back is Josh Evans. And this is good speed, exiting. It was a clever kick there from Joel Batson. Another uncontested mark, this time taken by Ash Russell. Kicks it forward, and they're looking to use the corridor now. Here's Spinks, took a really high-flying grab there, kicked it over to Will Pickering. They can enter inside 50 here, Garfield. They're looking dangerous, decide to go out to the wing once again. It's Diston, who tried to find his man in Russell, but in the end turned it over, and they can really damage here. Nana Goon. Bedio looks to go for the central option. Garfield got a hand to it, socket off the grounds. Then spinning is the Goon, kicking inside 50, looking for another goal. Goes on the run, slipper, and goes for the soccer instead, and that is one of the great highlights of this year. What a great chase.
Outstanding. So when you can't pick it up, you just go off the ground, and tough angle there on about a 45, running at almost full pace, and it dribbled through. And that's another example of the Goon just going direct, and that puts you under a lot of stress when you're the Stars defender. So I think that might hurt them today when Garfield try and open them up, try and space the ground out with some kicking and don't get back quite quick enough. You know Nana Goon won't waste any time. They'll go direct to their big forwards, including Pipiselli, and often they have awesome ground level players front and centre, and it resulted in another goal there off turnover from D50.
I wouldn't have thought that the cycle would have been the main option there. I thought you might have gone a couple more times to pick it off the ground, but whatever works. It was a great goal for the Goon there in what has been an inaccurate day so far. So Spinks lost the hit out there. Triggy's just another level, isn't he? Herman still soccering off the grounds. The Goon, and then whistle blown, high contact going for Garfield, and then I think he was just playing a bit for the 50 there was Zachy Dalton. So goes out further towards the wing, the left side. Uncontested mark taken at central wing. Playing fast footy here, but you've just got to be careful because they've probably got the height advantage down back to the Goon, and they take another intercept mark. Now they want to run a bit of a switch of their own. Spun his defender inside out, and then an uncontested mark taken at half back. They're moving the ball really well here, the Goon. Could enter inside 50 here. Pipiselli, another big lead! What a grab, plays on immediately, looking for Burgoyne! No! Just got in his way, there wasn't enough talk, trying to avoid the tackler is Murphy. Burgoyne goes on the foot, wanted the high free kick, whistle blown, and they're going to pay it. What a sequence from Nana Goon. And now it's Mitch Humphrey who can put the Goon up by 31 points. Pipiselli has just been class today. Set up that passage inside 50. And Humphrey now streams through. And he's... Is that a goal? I believe so, yeah. Seemed a bit flat after it, but no, Mitch Humphrey's got his first of the day, Aiden.
Well, I don't think I need to say it again. You saw it on your screens. Just the ability to go direct, and when you've got someone like Nate Pipiselli just taking hangers on the forward flank, you're in trouble if you're Garfield, because Nana Goon they have weapons everywhere, and you know they're going to go direct, and when they do, it's almost always a score. And they almost messed that one up, getting in each other's way, but Humphrey finished that up really well. And I think he sort of left the celebration out there because he's pretty cooked after he got hit across the head. But anyway, we're back in the middle. Trig wins another tap. We're going well there is Source. Flicks it outside to Zakari, and he goes inside 50, but it's punched away there by Aiden Pipiselli. And he goes in direction of his captain. That's a great mark by Armour, and he plays on. Looks to go into the middle. Kicks over the head, though, and Pickering will pick it up for Garfield. That's a decent kick out wide there to the wing. Here's Suter. He goes up the line with a bit of a snap kick, and Penny will pick that up. And he couldn't quite handle it. He had it once and twice, and then it came off his shin out of bounds.
Just talking about Armour there, that is why he is one of the best players in the competition. He's just a great overhead mark there, just because he's so strong. He reminds me a lot like a Timmy Taranto. His disposal efficiency isn't always the highest, but in the stoppages, he can just get you a clearance at any time.
He's going at it again there. No one wins clean possession yet. Griffiths has it on the ground. It's knocked out. Murphy goes in the direction of his teammate, but can't quite find one. Goon keep tapping it up the line. Still going. No, Goon. Almost loses his feet there. It was Herman. It's now in the hands of Burgoyne. And it's sent inside 50. Pipiselli! He is having some sort of first quarter. He's got the ball again. He's about... Umpire Jesse Boyd moves him, the man on the mark, a few paces further out. But I'd say this is about 45. Slight angle. But the sort of quarter he's having, Pipiselli, I think he might kick this. He runs in. He puts it. It looks pretty good. No. Just misses to the near side. That's another behind for Nana Goon.
And if I'm with Nana Goon's coaching staff at the moment. I'm rotating Jack Barnes off Pipicelli. I know Pipicelli has got the really big height advantage there, but he is just having way too much of an impact on this game at the moment as Penny was under it, but in the end it was actually Trig who took an overhead mark. So wants to go through the corridor, went to Matt Homfrey, who found an uncontested man. That's Bovita. Just waiting all alone. So had a set shot, similar distance and similar angle. I believe it was actually the first set shot of the game. Looking for his first. So this will be a go after the siren. This would put them up by 37 points going into quarter time. Does that have the distance? No, it's going to be punched by Pickering at the end of the line. But what a quarter by the Goon. Just a brilliant start. And they are going into quarter time with a 31-point lead. Garfield have not even got a sniff on goal yet.
They did really well. They've defended really gallantly. They've been brave. They've really stuck to their guns, which is really commendable, especially when you go up against a team like Nana Goon at home and how hard that is, especially with their run and gun and direct play. But they've stuck to their guns, and you really got to respect that from Garfield. But just every time they got inside 50, they just weren't real dangerous. They didn't look like they were really polished, and the big Nana Goon defenders were just far too good in the end through the air and even on the ground. So it sort of came in a couple of times and went straight back out, unfortunately. So not much reward for their hard work, but it's really a test of their mental, stability at the moment. Because the Goon is going to keep coming. So we'll see. So hopefully Garfield can, stick at it and stick to their guns and the way they're playing. I think they should open the ground up a bit more, use that switch and tire Nana Goon out a bit more, because if they don't do that, the Goon is going to keep coming, and if they're not tired, they could put another few goals on the board, and hopefully if they start kicking straight, it might get ugly.
So it is Nana Goon up by 32 points going into quarter time. We're going to take a short break, and can they get back into this? We'll have to wait and see. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, I'm Michael Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company.
So it was Nana Goon in that first term who just ran an absolute riot. They are up by 32 points going into this second term. And I think we'll just cover over what we mentioned in that quarter-time break. Aiden, we want to see a bit more run from Garfield and not so much slow chip-to-chip kick, because we saw they moved up. They moved the ball through the wing really well on most occasions. But the problem they had that we were talking about was just that last kick inside 50. They put it up a little bit too high, and Nana Goon, who have a pretty tall defence in comparison to Garfield, as you can probably see on your screen at the moment, they were just getting intercepted all the time.
And when you give Nana Goon a chance to rest and then turn the footy over, you not exactly going to have a great time chasing on the other end, because they go direct, they don't waste time, and they've got the big bull down at full forward Pivaselli. But it all started with Trigg, I thought, in the first quarter. He was outstanding in the ruck for Nana Goon, and he'll go up again here when we get underway.
And even if you do tire them out, there are going to be guys for Nana Goon who simply just don't get tired. JJ Penny is clearly one of them. He is just an absolute rocket, that man. As the siren sounds for the second quarter, can Garfield get any score on the scoreboard in his second term? We sure hope they can. So out of the middle, spitting out. This is much better ball movement already, going inside 50. Almost a contested mark taken. And just look at the Nana Goon defenders here running back for it. It's going to be Parker flicking it out. But that was already better. The hit outs from out the ruck, instantly just clearing out of the centre. Much better, Aiden.
Yeah, you see Zach Suter it was running off half-back there. That's the sort of thing they need. They need to fire up some runners off half-back if they're having trouble on the inside. And just light up that run and really go direct like Nana Guna and give them a taste of their own medicine.
So Parker took it out of the ruck, almost lost it. Burgoyne tried to handball it out of the contested scenario, couldn't get it in the end. Garfield working really well here, their small forwards and their pressure. Parker picks it up, exiting outside of the 50. And a mark's going to be taken, handballed off by Hines to Burgoyne, who then goes to Marsham. First time we're calling his name. Could have gone through the corridor. Smith was absolutely running his behind off. And then they're going to call advantage for a free kick. Pepicelli up to Nate. That is another contested mark taken by Nate Pepicelli. He is just having an absolute day out. And he might even back himself in here, or perhaps not. I think he's going to play on. So kicks it up towards full forward. Almost a mark taken. Garfield recover well though, trying to exit outside. Burgoyne lurking, looking for that tackle inside 50. Comes out. Well, not quite. Garfield's turned the ball over. So now it's going to be Trigg who sends a high-flying footy up towards full forward. Mark just fell through the hands of the Garfield defender. And the ball will escape Matt Homfrey. And Goon, after a little bit of a nervous start to that second quarter, are already looking better, Aiden.
Yeah, they look dangerous inside 50. And Pipicelli's just an absolute ball down there. And when he goes on the lead, he's so quick and he gets such separation, and then in the air it's just outstanding. So very, very hard to defend. But at the moment he's taking the ruck against Riley, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Deep inside Nana Goons forward 50. Riley does win the tap, but it doesn't go very far. Taken out of the contest, given it to Pipicelli on the left boot. No! They celebrate, but the goal umpire is adamant that it was touched. And he cannot stay away from the ball, Nate Pipicelli.
If he was just a bit more accurate so far, he would have had 4 majors already. He has just been huge. And even an unconventional kick like that, the little dribbler. So Garfield, we're trying to exiting out, almost went out on the full. Luckily, it was touched by Jed Murphy of Nana Goon. So boundary throw in. Trigg versus Cooper Riley in the ruck. Riley won the hit out there. He's actually played all right today, has Riley, against a classy ruckman in Trigg. Ball spits out, going towards the centre wing. Players hitting the deck here, and the Sharon's going to be trapped under what looks like Penny. So, here we go again. Garfield have looked a lot more competitive in this to start off this quarter though, which is a really good sign. So it was trying to sock it off was Ferrari. Eventually got hands to the footy, gave it off to Smith. Pipicelli looking to enter inside 50, goes to Nate Pipicelli. One of the rare occasions he didn't take a good overhead mark. Bovita turned his defender inside out, tried to find a teammate inside 50. Penny, he's looking dangerous here. The handball was affected by the pressure of the Nana Goon forwards, and a free kick's going to be paid at Garfield. And it will go to John Sakari.
So, oh no, they've turned it. No, they haven't quite turned it over. It wasn't a great disposal. And Pickering was under heaps of pressure there, and we're going out of bounds. He's sort of done well there. The kick from his teammate nearly did him in. It was a scrubber along the ground into the defensive goal square.
Braden Maynard type kick from Tuesday on Anzac Day. That was putrid.
Luckily, they were able to get it out of bounds, and Riley will win the tap as it's thrown in, and nothing doing. So it'll be out of bounds and thrown in again. Doing a bit of work down there, the young boundary umpire. She's busy to start this second term. Thrown in again. Pipicelli and Riley. Goes over both of them. Picked up at the back of the pack. It was a flying shot. Wasn't really spinning right at all. It was almost a torpedo sort of snap out of the contest. And that's another behind to Nana Goon.
Is that Pipicelli who kicked it?
I think it might be.
Jeez, he's could have had a lot of goals already. Still played a great game though. He's probably been the most impactful on field, along with Trigg for Nana Goon. So the ball's going to go over the boundary line there. Just escapes the grasp of Mitch Homfrey, who kicked a goal earlier in that first term. And I think that was the one that put them up by 31 points. So thrown in and whistle blown. I think they're going to call it back. Maybe the boundary throwing was just a bit too shallow. Or yeah, so they'll just return it back to the boundary umpire. Throws it up again. Trigg just came in with a swinging fist. Now Penny with possession. Homfrey going inside 50. Pipicelli again! Goes for a fly! Oh, almost played on. You just have to go back and kick this. Back yourself in, Pipicelli. And that is one of the marks of the year so far. He's already had a couple today, but that may have just been the best yet. Got flashes of Gary Moorcroft there. So Pipicelli, this is probably the hardest kick he's had all day. Very, very close to the boundary. Distance is favouring him though. Maybe about 30 or so out. Pipicelli. No, the umpire called it a behind before it went out over the line, Aiden.
I'll tell you what, in basketball, something like that would be called a poster, and I think that is a poster. The defender is still on his haunches. Pipicelli sat on his shoulders, got a bit of kickback, and soared well into the air. That was outstanding. But Garfield are working it up the wing again after he missed the set shot. Now they're on with hands. Down the far wing, and they've turned it over. Unfortunate there for Garfield. Good inset mark from Hughes coming off his man. And now the Goon are going to try and run it back up the other wing. They've got the outnumber here. And now it's in the hands of Bettio. Going inside 50, the kick clears everybody. No one really wants to pick it up. It spills out in the direction of Dalton. And he's claimed immediately after picking it up. Goes to ground and there'll be a ball up. So that just breaks your heart if you're a Stars fan there. It looked like a really good play working with hands up the far wing, and just that final disposal again is hurting them. So Trigg went a bit early there. It's tapped by Riley, but it's won by Nana Goon. Put inside 50. Oh, not quite. It's still on the flank. Here's Homfrey. Goes to a one-on-one. Oh, it's almost marked well there from Garfield, but couldn't quite complete it. And guess who's got it? It's Pipicelli. Goes back to Murphy. Snap for goal. And that has missed as well. So if you're wondering how to kick goals, I wouldn't trust Nana Goon at this stage. They've kicked a lot of behinds instead today, but lucky for them, Garfield haven't scored at all. And they go out to Pickering, I think it is. So directly opposite us on the other side of the ground in the scoreboard here, our broadcast position. And they're really sticking to their guns. They look like they want to work that uncontested mark game out of defence and then try and run the ball. But they've gone up the line with a long one here. It's on centre wing and it's tapped out of bounds.
I want to see them use the corridor more. I know we were talking about how wide this ground is and you can really tire your opponents out, but there needs to be a time where these Garfield boys take a bit of risk, they run through the middle and they can maybe lower the eyes a bit and not just bomb it inside 50. So you can take it at ground level against some of these taller players as they go into the middle here. Nana Goon. Pipicelli takes a contested mark, hands it off. The handball from, I believe it was Riley Murphy, was a bit off, but still in possession with Nana Goon. Murphy. Little Brian Myers type kick, and that is JJ Penny who just swept in beautifully. Now, he definitely doesn't have the leg on him for this, so he's going to kick it inside 50, looking for anyone, and beautiful use of the body once again by the Nana Goon forwards. Just superb work up forward, and this time it is Jake Smith. 26 years of age, and he was one of the best on ground last week in our post-game show. He was really unlucky not to get a vote from me. He is now directly in front, and this would be really, starting to spell some warning signs for Garfield. Smith walks in directly in front. Is going to come back. No, sticks to the left.
So, I really wish we could tell you a different story here, but it's the narrative has stayed the same. Narnagoon are playing some electric football. Garfield are holding up well in defence, but Narnagoon cannot finish their work on occasion after occasion. As they turned it over, Smith will have another go, this time on the run from 45, and that's hit the post. And there's a verbal cry of disapproval from the crowd there. They thought that was a cracking goal, and it was very close, but another behind to Narnagoon.
And Garfield last year, in terms of like the bottom sides, they were actually one of the better defensive teams. Only, well, probably shouldn't say only, but had the 1,800 or so points against them last year, which was the 10th most in the league, it was better than some of those other bottom sides like Korumburra and Dalston. But as we see here, their points last year was sitting at around about 757, which was only better than Korumburra. So we know they've got some good defensive structure, Garfield's, but in terms of putting pressure on the scoreboard, they just haven't been able to do that last year, and certainly in this contest either. So Armour tried to get it off by hands, but was ripped towards the ground. It was a good smother by Penny in the end. He was dragged off the ball, Zach Dalton, and the umpire's going to see that clear as day. So Dalton will get a free kick here. Simply must move. No way about it. Griffiths was knocked over after trying to go for the mark. Dalton decides to lose some of these metres gains and kicks it backwards. So they must get this kick right. A mark must be taken. And unfortunately, it was not available for Tennis Greenall, and a whistle will be blown. I think Narnagoon tried to pay advantage here. Oh no, we'll actually be going towards Garfield, so it's going to be Mark Griffiths, who's playing as an assistant coach. Recruited from Springvale, and looks to be backing himself in here. Tough angle, and he'd be kicking it from 50 out. This could really be what gets Garfield up and about, with a bit of flair to their game. To start their day, Griffiths from 50 out. That is a beautiful kick. Went well with the distance, but just not with the accuracy.
They're on the board though, so only minimal, but there is some reward for their hard work, Garfield. And like you were saying, they actually moved that one pretty quickly. The skill level wasn't amazing, but they moved it quickly and they got a chance inside 50 as Griffiths goes back with it, doesn't take the mark. Tennis Greenhold, great pick up. He'll use the left. I think this was touched. Go inside 50, punched away. Pipicelli's over it. That's Aiden, and there'll be a stoppage right in front of us here, just inside 50 for Garfield. So they're pressing at the moment. It's good to see. Showing some fight. Tapped, but Saws missed it. Oh, it's taken really well there by Flynn Parker, and he get the give and go. Say, get out of my way to the defender and kick it up the line. But it's intercepted by Pickering.
They're starting to get a lot more possession of the footy, Garfield, and as you mentioned there, they're starting to get a bit of inside or repeat inside 50 entries as well, but that's a poor kick, a poor switch, and now Narnagoon can run Homfray by himself. Has missed.
So he had a lot of time there. He chose to take the kick from outside the arc. There was no one inside 50. Could have taken another 20 paces and really composed himself, but not to worry. It ended up rolling into the behind post, so it'll be a throw in.
I know it's all good to get this far in front against Garfield if you're Narnagoon, but this is actually a major concern against the teams that are really good like Tooradin and Phillip Island and Inverloch. It's a flaw they must fix immediately, Aiden.
Yeah, I know what they'll be doing at training. I'd have a pretty good guess. I think they'll be inside 50 kicking the football at the big sticks. Because, like you say, they want to contend, and they have been contending the last couple of years. Couple top 5 finishes, finals appearances, but
in those big games, goal kicking is an absolute premium. So they need to work on that. But their footy overall is pretty good today.
Well, we saw it against Coralline last year in the elimination final. It was just such a low-scoring contest, and at the end of the day, it's probably what got them eliminated. So, yeah, you'd like to see some improvement in that going into the second half, or even next week. As Burgoyne out of the pack, just lets one go, and another behind for Narnagoon, Aiden.
Yeah, this is... it's actually incredible how repetitive this is, but another behind for them. And Garfield, like I said it before at quarter time, you've just got to respect them. They're soaking all of this up, non-stop pressure. And I'd love to be the bloke kicking out today for them, because he's probably going to have 45.
Nick Dacos type stuff, that's that line.
Old Jake Lloyd sort of operator.
Love to have him in your Supercoach team if they had a West Skippy Supercoach.
You sure would. I don't think he's missed a kick either. He's having a good day out there. This is Tennis Greenhole goes up the line. It's marked well there by Pickering. Pipicelli was bearing down on him. You wouldn't have known though, but I tell you what, if Pipicelli had got there, he would have been feeling it. But he's looking to go inside, so they'll go for the switch again. This is Fernandez. He goes up the line, centre wing, in front of Pickering. He's chased by Bettio, and it'll just meander out of bounds, unfortunately. So it's good. They are trying a few things. They're trying the switch, and they're trying to run with hands. They're just not pulling it off. But it's great to see. And like you said before, their defensive structure is really strong. And if you're going to build a team like they were last year, building from defence is a really good way to go about it. They just aren't quite as competent in front of the ball at the moment. This is Aiden Pipicelli. Tries to hand it off to a teammate, but it's almost cut off by Garfield. And Narnagoon plays claimed there by a Stars defender, and we'll have a ball up.
They almost need a Jack Sinclair or a Mason Redmond, even Adam Sard type of player that has a real lot of speed off halfback, because that's really what they need at the moment. Garfield is getting once again close to Narnagoon's 50. Ferrari was caught up immediately, was playing the twos last week, but it's been featured in today's contest, so good to see Ferrari getting an opportunity. And now on the flank, hit outs, won by Garfield. Instantaneously feeling the pressure. And have a look at Trent Armour. Laid one tackle and then laid another immediately. That is just pure class. Trent Armour, the captain. Multiple Team of the Year player. Best and fairest winner for the club. And Garfield can really make an impact here, but the kick just went a little over their heads, so Pipicelli is going to cut it back and then go almost through the corridor. No mark taken in the end by the Goon. You still have Armour who's chasing for the footy. Socket it forward. Umpire doesn't allow the advantage, so they'll call it back to Armour, who was held by his opponent in, I believe it was Reece Murphy. Some skipper on skipper action there. Armour probably has the boot on him if he wants to go. He won't in the end. We'll try to go up forward. Purcell was looking for it. And then in the end it was eventually the Garfield defender who got it. I believe it was Zach Dalton, but was caught up immediately. So now at the wing again. And that turned over Garfield. Goon's pressure has just been elite. And that's a great mark taken by Bettio. He's going to need a really big kick. And judging by his body language, you probably go back and try slot this one. 50 out. A slight angle. So, Luke Bettio. Another two-way sort of player for the Narnagoon. It's not a bad attempt, actually. Bettio for 50! No. Just marked at the end there.
Great defensive mark. Can't quite see who it is. It might be Pickering in the sleeves. But Bettio's had an outstanding quarter. Had a little bit of it in the first, but this quarter is really broken out, and like you say, Garfield need a running player that can create for them. That's been Bedio for Nanagoon on the other side. And here we see Garfield again going for this uncontested marking game up the line. I think the main thing the reason they'd be doing this is just to take a bit of sting out of Nanagoon's play, get a bit more onus on the game. But unfortunately, I just don't think it's their best way of actually scoring. So,
And they're turning over the ball a lot as well when they're doing this. There have been a couple of kicks, as you've mentioned before, that last kick, they're turning it over quite a lot. And Nanagoon have had the ability to add quite a bit of speed off that turnover. They're scoring really well off turnovers, even if it is a behind. So there's something that they'd like to discuss at halftime, Maiden.
yeah, I think it's something you have to try if you are as outmatched as they are. But obviously, there's mistakes are going to come, but they have stuck to their guns, which is again commendable. But I'd like to see in the second half, they haven't really, well, they haven't kicked a goal yet, so just open it up, try something else. You only got the 4 points to lose, and Nanagoon are outstanding today. So why not risk it? That's what I think in the second half. But they've excited us still. It's been an exciting game for sure, and Garfield have it in them. They've got some exciting players up forward themselves. They've just got to get the right ball inside to them and give them a good opportunity. So the Goon are inside 50 now. Here's Ferrari, and his left foot kick is terrific into the pocket. I think that might be Humphrey. He'll line up. Decent angle here. A 45-degree angle. I'd say he's about 40 metres out. Strong Goon contingent behind the sticks. Comes in, and he's kicked it. So finally, Nanagoon have another major. And they lead it by 38 points, as you can see. And that's actually a great kick from Humphrey. It's his second, is it, of the afternoon. And the build-up's great. You just see when they get it inside 50, their smalls are really dangerous. And that little hit-up kick that they do, their big forwards always find space, and they're outstanding overhead. So that's really reward for effort again. There's only so much missing you can do before you hit one, if you ask me. So another goal for the Goon. Here's Trigg back in the middle. Gets the tap, but it goes nowhere. Over it is Sauce. He can't go anywhere with it either. He's dragged it back in. Goes over the top of him there, Burgoyne. Anyway, comes to half forward for the Stars, but there's no one there. The Goon work it out. The handball doesn't quite hit Murphy. He's spun around and loses possession. So inside 50 with Spinks they go. And it's spoiled, actually. Tennis Greenhole was on the lead, but it was spoiled by his own man who didn't see him coming. Can they get clean possession here, the Stars? They're inside 50. It's tapped along the ground by Penny. In there is Trigg getting down the big ruckman. Thinks he was held. No free kick. Still bubbling about in there. And now it's going to be balled up.
And you saw there, they went to ground there. I know they faced severe pressure by Nanagoon, but they're able to actually keep it in there for a substantial amount of time once they go to ground. So this is looking good. Here is what I was talking about. Garfield from the pack. They've kicked there first. It's Jono Saws.
Outstanding from the Stars there. That's really awesome to see for all the supporters in green and gold and everyone that's come out here today. They've stuck at it all game. They've never dropped their heads, and they've stayed at their game, and they've just started winning contested footy this quarter a lot more than the first, and that was a bit scrappy, sure, but Saws with a terrific finish from 45, and he's put Garfield on the ball with their first major. So back to 38 points. And we're back in the middle. It'll be Spinks and Trigg. Trigg gets a leap but goes early. Still gets the tap though off the ground. Hit the ground and still got the tap. Here's Ferrari. Can't quite trap it. It's fought. They're really fighting hard for the footy at the moment. Both sides. The pressure gauge is off the charts at the moment in terms of what we've seen this afternoon. We'll have another ball up. It'll be Spinks and Trigg again. Trigg again goes early and still gets the tap. Kick away, goes about 2 metres, so won't be paid to anyone. Falls to the back. Here's Penny. Little juke, great kick too. He's got Murphy. Murphy's kick looking. Oh, he's looking for Pipicelli. He's been quiet by his standards the last 5 minutes. It was cut away by Garfield, and they've done well there. They've got it out of bounds on the other side pocket.
And I know it was intercepted well there, but that is just what makes Penny so valuable. His ability to weave in and out of traffic and have that real foot speed. And, he's a great kick of the footy as well, so he's just such a valuable member to this Nana Goon side, Aiden.
Yeah, and he's scary if you're coming up to tackle him. There's a lot of him. And anyway, he goes inside 50, and it's on the chest of, guess who, Nate Pipicelli. Almost in the identical position of his hanger earlier this term. And he'll line up for yet another shot. Comes in, kick on its way. And he's off again, unfortunately. And that'll do it. It's half time at Nanagoon. And they lead it by 39 points. But Garfield showed a lot of fight in that quarter. Goon again inaccurate. But the Stars got their first major of the afternoon. Still a terrific day here. I think Garfield have a little bit to work on, but they'll be really happy with finishing with the final goal of the quarter there. But it was Pipicelli's quarter, if you ask me. He was outstanding.
Certainly, and Garfield, they'll be talking about that last sequence there during half-time where they were just really persistent at ground level, even where it seemed like it was going to exit there due to the pressure from guys like Tex Marsham for Nanagoon. Their fight inside 50 there was incredible, and that is why I'm still giving them a chance to absolutely get back in this game. If they can just add a bit more speed and a bit more flair to their brands, they can really catch Nanagoon here, who have been woeful in front of goal today. I know they've been really good at stoppages and winning contested footy and causing turnover with their pressure, but Garfield's, there's still a chance here, and it's simple for Nanagoon. They just must fix their accuracy. So we're going to take a short break here. Going into half-time. Don't leave us. Garfields are currently losing this one by 39 points. We'll see you shortly.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Van McCluster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. You know, if I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
So welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round West Gippsland stream. Today is between the Nana Goon Footy Club and the Garfield Stars. And I wouldn't go out on a leg and say it was a one-sided affair. Garfield really put up a really good fight there. But Nana Goon really could have put an end to this in the first quarter. But their inaccuracy has just cost them so much. Going into halftime, they are sitting at 5 goals, 16-46 to Garfield's 1-1-7. And yeah, just guys like Nate Pipicelli who have had really strong performances, Aiden, just haven't been able to score in front of goal.
Yeah, he'll be ruining that. I think I was going to say it in the second quarter. If he'd kicked straight, it would have been one of the all-time West Gippsland competition performances. It still is a great one, and he's definitely still best on ground for mine, but he's just missed some easy set shots, and especially after taking the hangers that he has, you really have to finish. And just on that, a note, we've just heard word that Joel Batson was injured, we think, in that marking contest with Pipicelli, so he'll be out with an ankle for the second half. We won't see him out on the field here at Nana Goon. Prepared brilliantly for their first home game. They've done a lot of work on it, and it's a terrific day for it, really. We haven't had any wind or rain to bother us, and the teams are going to break the huddle, and we'll get underway for the third term. Garfield have really have a sniff here. They played some really brave football in the first half, and then that final 10 minutes, they really made it a bit of a dogfight, and they were great inside, and they were able to get that goal through Jonathan Soares. So I think they're not out of this one by any stretch, especially if Nana Goon keep kicking inaccurately. They've just got to show a bit of fight and amass about 6 goals, which is the deficit at the moment.
Absolutely.
But we're nearly ready to get underway. So back in the middle, as you usually see out in the country, just waiting for a few little tackers to make their way off the field. And umpire Jesse Boyd will get us back underway in the second half.
Just having a look at it now, Nana Goon could have had a potential 126 points by halftime. That's how. We've been slamming them for how inaccurate they were, but you've also got to marvel at the fact of how many scoring shots they were able to get throughout that first half. So Aiden's going to get us underway. Can Garfield come back?
So Boyd will throw it up. It's Trigg and Riley. Trigg will get the tap. In there is Armour, as always. Gets it out, and it's sort of put in the way of Smith there, and he'll mark right on the 50. So on the right-hand forward flank, directing traffic. He'll put it on the head of Marsham. Great mark. So Tex Marsham came in last year, really broke out as a key defender. Had a couple outstanding games. He's taken the mark in the pocket. Pretty tough angle, but he's only about 20 metres out. Kick from about 25. Walks in, slow build up. Now he goes. Kicks on the way. And it's there. Apologies for a bit of surprise from us there, because the first kick for goal for Goon in the third quarter, a bit of change of the narrative. And that is dead-eye straight from Tex Marsham. And maybe they've thought at halftime, we'll go and put someone up there that can kick him straight. They have, and his name's Tex. And he had no issues with that. So the Goon get on the board first. It didn't take them very long. And it was the regular names in the middle, Trigg and Armour, getting them underway. Great run from the outside from Bovita. Got it to Smith and Smith to Marsham. And a great finish.
Absolutely, Aiden. It has been interesting to see Tex Marsham go up there to start off that quarter. As who's obviously known as a defender, but nonetheless, here are the Goon. Herman decides to cut it back a bit and finds his teammate in Homfrey, who's going to enter inside 50. And there is Marsham again, but the kick was just a little overcooked, went over the top of his head. So here is Jack Barnes. Had a bit of a rough first half against Pipicelli, but that was a good kick and an even better mark there taken by Josh Evans. And then that kick is there, or that mark I should say, is affected there. So they're going to kick it down the line. Garfield running onto it, I believe, was Broxma. And ball goes over the line. Oh, actually, they're going to pay a free kick here in the way of Garfield, but the kick was just no good at the end of the day and intercepted immediately by Nana Goon.
So they'll go into the middle, risky kick. It's Tex on 3. And he's taken the mark over the top, not paid. Must have been touch. Flicks over the way of Smith, and he goes wider down the wing. It's not marked. Bowling away there was Herman. Now it's back to Smith, I think it is. Running 2 bounces in the space of about 20 metres. Gives the hands back to Marsham on the run, and he'll put him inside 50 in the way of Burgoyne. No. Second grab. Snap. No. Jeez, he is exciting, Trent Burgoyne. He was outsized there, but it did not matter. Got the leap, almost had the mark, and then like a cat, just second effort. Clean ball, got his own crumb, got the snap. Unfortunately, another miss for Nana Goon. Garfield are playing on quick here after the kick out. This will be distant. Lovely mullet flowing. Goes up the line and he's turned it over, unfortunately. Back in the hands of Nana Goon.
So Homfrey here, handed off to Armour, who looks to go inside 50. Pipicelli! No, not quite, but Burgoyne's got a paddock of space. Says don't argue to 1, and then Pipicelli out of the pack has missed another. How many behinds do you reckon he has today?
I've said it before. I reckon he could have had a baker's dozen today. But he's missed at least 5 shots. Could be 6. And some of them easy, some of them not, but he'll be pretty flat tonight, just ruining the opportunity you had to kick 10 or 12 today.
It's crazy to, even with those though, as we mentioned before, he's still getting at the very least, at least one vote. So it's been outstanding. And
we have been a bit harsh on their kicking, but it's just a respect to them, really, because we know that Nana Goon are a genuine contender, a top 4 contender, and we know they're better than that, and everyone around the league, they're respected so well that we know that they're better than their kicking is today. And that's why we're harping on it, because I know it's early in the season, but it's something that has to be improved, because the Nana Goon that everyone knows is a team that does put teams away with straight kicking and fast football. So bit of a chain there from Garfield. Didn't go anywhere and be thrown in again. Healthy crowd here at Nana Goon. I think a lot of people are here celebrating the new look ground and facilities. First home game at the Goon this year for them. Great support. Riley wins the tap. It's taken by Bovita. Here's Armour again. A few taps, can't take it cleanly, and it'll go out of bounds. It's defended well there by Suter. Stayed with him. He's got a bit of pace about him. He's someone that can break the game open for the Stars. So we'll have another throw in. It's Trigg and Riley still going at it in the ruck. Both been pretty good. That one probably favoured Trigg a bit, and he just punches it down the line. They all dive on it. Comes in front of Bovita, can't pick it up. Here's Armour. Two of them are following him, can't get near him. He puts it snap inside 50, doesn't really favour any of his teammates. It's taken there by Saws, and his left boot finds the chest of Riley.
Good work from Jed Murphy down there, though. That's just the ultimate teammate thing as a forward. Didn't go for the crazy mark that probably would have given away a free kick. Just a nice clean punch to spoil, and it didn't result in a goal, but nice teamwork as Burgoyne has all the space he wants and then fakes out the defender. Could he go 50 out if he wants? No, he's going to lower the eyes, and Bovita takes a great one. Oh, they're going to call play on. Oh, that is stiff. He had a very clean look at that, Bovita. I'm disappointed by that. I thought he had plenty of it, but nonetheless, here we are, still inside forward 50 for Nana Goon. Tapped out the back of the pack. It's going to be Griffiths just chucking a clearance kick out towards space. Murphy recovers it though, and then here is the other Murphy in Riley. Ball goes to grounds, and should be a stoppage here, and it is. Umpire calls for the ball back.
That's just that last play from Burgoyne and Bovita. That's just the umpire not understanding the highlight play. You got to give him that one, I would have thought. Anyway, ball's inside 50. The Stars have the numbers here. Can they pick it up cleanly? Instead, they go off the deck through, I think it was Ruxmart. Now it's bubbling about. He gets another handball out, but his teammates claimed immediately from Aiden Pipicelli, and that'll be a free kick to the Goon. The Goon defence is just, I think they've gone underrated today. Garfield have had absolutely no time inside their forward 50 at any point in the match. And it's really set up the Goon well.
They just haven't been able to lock it in there all day because of that defensive pressure from Nana Goon. It's been out of wordly, and it's a good overhead mark taken by Trigg there, who then goes off his line looking for Pipicelli or Marshall. Neither took it. Smith was out the back and then slung his defender into the ground, and that is going to be called a fair tackle. So Goon looked to be about, I'd say, maybe 25 to 30 metres out from goal. Marsham going in to the ruck in forward 50, and Smith in the tackle there, or rather Jed Smith bringing Saws into the deck. Maybe pushed out of it was Riley. Ball hits the deck and then out of the pack. Armour! The Bull! He's got his first of the day.
I think you mentioned it at the start of the game. He is just incredible inside. So hard to defend all around the ground when there's a pack around. He just burrows in there and always seems to win clean possession. And this is the composure in a pack of a good 15 players there to just pick up and put it to boot quickly and on point. Very impressive from the Goon skipper. We're back in the middle. It's Humphrey and Riley this time. Oh, good spin there from Saws, and he puts it inside 50 for the Stars. But they overrun it, and the Goon have the numbers. They'll work it with hands. And now a kick up the line. It's be taken by Jed Murphy. He flicks it off quickly to Ferrari. Now to Purcell, but he dropped the footy. Under no pressure really there. And Ferrari will pick it back up and be claimed there by Dalton. So we'll have a stoppage. True centre wing. Here's Riley. And Humphrey. It's won by Humphrey. Oh, great attack there from Ferrari, and he copped one high. He's been really solid. Obviously, like I said, coming up from the twos this week. His attack on the ball is very impressive. Very solid in defence for the Goon.
He's had an underrated sort of day today. We haven't mentioned him too much, but certainly looking like a lock for the side next week as Armour took a good mark, and then Purcell looking to go inside 50. The kick was just a little bit too much though. Bit of push and shove in the pocket here. Now from the pocket. No, surely not. How has he done that? 50 outs on an extremely tough angle. And Goon get another goal. I think that may have been Jed Murphy. And it's just starting to get a bit ugly now.
So, I don't want to pump up my own tyres, but I did say they might run away with it in the third quarter. And we've only gone about 12 minutes, and it's looking that way already. Back in the middle then. Here's Suter for Garfield. Flicks it wide. This is Dalton. Got a chance here, the Stars. His kick goes over the head once again of the leading forward in Pickering. Big tackle though. So that's some good forward pressure from the Stars. Haven't seen heaps of it today. And although they're probably only inside 50 by half a metre, they are inside 50. And they didn't let the Goon waltz out with that one that time. So it'll be thrown up right next to the boundary line. Comes the way of, I think that's Purcell. Just handballs it up the line. No one really goes for it. Now it's Saws. To the other Saws. And now again Zach Suter. His kick is a turnover, and the Goon go immediately. It's dropped by Humphrey. In a bit of trouble, but the handball was pretty good to Herman. Herman goes inside 50. Now there's a chance for the Goon. Not taken cleanly, though, by Bovita, unfortunately. Not his best. Usually back him to grab that one in and turn around and dob one from there, but not that time. The pressure was good enough. So another stoppage inside 50 for the Goon now. Marshall will go up against Riley. Won't get the tap, but he will get the handball over to Burgoyne. I think that was thrown out there by Purcell, not paid. Here's Aiden Pipicelli. A lot of handballing here from the Goon. Goes nowhere. Now the ball's in the middle. One-on-one. Oh, almost taken there was Bedio. He's lucky. Here's Armour with a left foot snap inside 50. Both feeders dropped another one, unfortunately. But Marsham picks it up, and he's put it through. So that might have been Hines, the other big fella down there. It was.
So that is now Hines with 2 majors to his day. And he's been pretty good up forward. Hasn't found himself a lot of the footy. But he's been pretty accurate in front of goals, and you just get the feeling now that Nana Goon aren't going to miss much. They've really turned it on in this third term. And umpire getting ready to resume play. Tapped out by Riley. It was good work. Dalton got immediately to his opponent and put him into the turf. It was Purcell that was under that pack. Once again in the centre square. It's Humphrey, who hasn't taken a lot of ruck duties. Murphy, his kick was smothered. brilliant defensive read there from the Goon. They're going to pick it up at half back. Falling handball to Herman. Now they're on the wing. Decided to slow it down a little bit through Pipicelli, I believe that was, but that kick is poor. So Dalton is now in the middle. They must move Garfield if they want to score. But no, they just halt up play a little bit, looking for any option. Going to have to send a long one into space, and Penny was just waiting all day for that one. So then he turns around, goes for the uncontested option, and Smith on the wing. Hines, he's screaming for that footy. Won't get it. It will instead be Brent Hughes, who then goes through into the corridor. Ferrari still running a switch the Goon. Herman faked his opponent out, then goes for a run. Low kick inside 50 to Bettio, who hands it off. Pipicelli just was clumsy with the footy, and that looks like almost a certain goal. The ball movement was brilliant, Aiden, but it results in a no score for Nana Goon. Garfield have possession.
Well, it's just like it's just their luck really today. The best play they've had by far in terms of the link up, and Pipicelli for the first time, a true fumble. Inside 50 go the Stars though. Big fly there from Pickering, no mark. It's now in the hands of Penny. Defender was draped over him, didn't matter. Got the handball off, and now they've got Herman in a lot of space. He's got a paddock. He can take a bounce. Saws is putting the hard yards in to try and chase him down, but he won't get there. He'll get the kick off. It's into the hands of Humphrey. And he directs it right into the middle to Pipicelli. So here's Nate. This time there's no fumble. Turns around on the left. And he's got Smith. Jed Smith turns and goes in the direction of Burgoyne, but it's over his head. Great tackle though. Awesome second effort from Burgoyne. He was 1-on-3 there. The kick was pretty good. Didn't take the mark, but immediately laid the tackle and didn't let the Stars exit. That stuff goes underrated. He's exciting, is Trent Burgoyne. He's got the footy again. It's time tackle by Pickering. They dive in on it, and we'll have another stoppage inside 50 for the Goon.
Burgoyne's another guy who probably could have had a lot of goals to his name if he'd just been a bit more accurate in front of goal, but he's been probably the best small forward for the Goon today, as we see some more pressure, which is what you love from your small forwards from Burgoyne. And another stoppage, sitting at half forward. Garfield have actually been going right in terms of hit-outs at the moment. Marsham to Smith to Armour, who lost it. And then back over to Murphy, I believe it was. And going to be caught holding the ball. Had plenty of prior. So free kick in the way of Garfield. This one will be going to Ben Tennis Greenall. Now we'll kick it down the line here. It looks like he wants to go in that way. A long one down the line. It's punched straight into the air. Penny. We know how dangerous he can be in traffic. Couldn't get near it at the end of the day, though. So Garfield are just going to have to defend this well, and they actually did. Great work. Pickering took a contested mark and then kicked it down to Saws, who then goes through the corridor. That's a really dangerous kick. Lucky not to get the mark in the end. With Garfield's. And then they've just had a poor entry inside 50. So Nana Goon once again recover, looking to score off the turnover, Aiden.
So they've got numbers here. They're really taking it on this quarter. Another 45 kick towards the middle. It's not marked there by Humphrey. That was Mitch. And we'll have another stoppage. So you can clearly see the Goon have got the directive to open the game up and go quickly. And the few goals at the start of this quarter has really helped their momentum in doing so. Here's Herman, little inside kick, finds Marsham. That was nice. And he gives the hands off straight away. And Humphrey's claimed, but he couldn't stick the tackle, so he's good enough to get the hands off. A flying shot. It'll fall short. And it's marked well there by Garfield.
We don't have the stats available to us, unfortunately, but I'd love to see the possession counters. That's a kick out on the full by Ethan Suarez, but I'd love to see the third quarter possession count, because I reckon Nana Goon would be absolutely smashing Garfield in that category. They've been so much cleaner as Smith runs off his mark looking for Marsham. He's going to have the strength here. Didn't, but caught, I believe it was Dalton in a tackle there, but they've just been winning so much more of the contested footy Nano Goon, and that's how they've been really able to open this game up, because they're just going in harder at the contest and then finding those uncontested options out at places like on the wing or even in the middle of the field. Is Pipicelli hands it off to a teammate. I think it was Hines, and then looks for Marsham, and that's a really good grab by Garfield. Nice work from, I think it was Spinks. And he'll go to central wing on the broadcast side, Aiden.
He's a big man, he's Spinks. He's got an outstanding mullet as well. And that mark really matched it, I reckon. It's a great matchup, him and Tex Marsham, actually. Both having some decent games. A lot of size. It'll come their way again. This time it's punched from in front, and they both run over it, the Stars players. Marsham couldn't grab it cleanly. Now it comes to Smith. Smothered well, though. Oh, and they run into each other. They'll still go. This is Russell. Ash. You did well there. Over the top was Tennis Greenhow. Couldn't complete the mark. And now Aiden Pipicelli switches over. This is Murphy. And he'll have Purcell inside 50. Couldn't take the mark. But I think it was Dalton who infringed there. And his teammates tell him to take his time. Probably a good call. There's a bit of spice in this one now. It's come alive a bit. And I think they'll really take their time with their shots from now on and make sure they put them through the big sticks on an inaccurate afternoon. Here's Purcell. Comes in, kicks on the way. Distance not quite there. And, oh, has he paid it? He has. He has. Nate Pipicelli on the goal line. I thought Purcell's kick was going to have the legs until at the end, and he was the first one to realise, and he took a juggling grab. Bit of disagreement from the Garfield bench that that was a mark, but the umpire paid it, and here's Pipicelli. Surely this time. Comes in, and he's... I'm a bit speechless, to be honest, but he's missed that one as well. And he shakes his head. Goes into the defensive setup, but I'll tell you what, this is one of the all-time unlucky days for him. It could have been one of the great performances in West Gippy history, but that one, I thought he could have gone for the snap there. He went for the drop punt. He missed it across the face. But he looms large, Nate Pipicelli. Here's Garfield, go up the line, and it Spinks again. Another fella who looms large in defence for the Stars.
He's had a good term, as Lockie Spinks, been really impactful up down in defence. So Garfield, Pickering, sock it off the grounds, trying to find any uncontested option here. They're just going to have to send a bomb inside 50. The pressure was too large. Murphy couldn't get to it. Pipicelli over to Smith. Advantage paid for the umpire. I'm not sure what the free kick was for. Purcell now on the wing, going a bit forward than he normally is found at in his natural position. Then Smith went to ground. Does he have enough time? Was probably caught high there, and then a rough tackle as well. Umpire calls play on. Ball spits out of the contest. Here are Garfield. Can they add a bit of speed to their ball movement? They've been desperate for it. Suarez couldn't get it. It was Purcell hitting the deck. I like the persistency from the Stars. They've just been going, and here is Spinks, who's been arguably best on ground in this third term. He's been absolutely huge. And then it was a strong overhead contested mark there by, I think it was Aiden Pipicelli.
So it's just that last kick again for Garfield. And when Goon have such a tall defence and a smart defence, you just have to get a bit more composure and take a bit more time to really hit that kick or get it to enough space where you can run on. Anyway, Penny puts Goon inside 50 in the way of Burgoyne. Did well to affect the contest. Oh, tapped him. Oh, geez, they try to really make an exciting play about that. Him and Pipicelli. Burgoyne flicking the hands over to him, and Pipicelli just tapping it back in his path, but Burgoyne couldn't take it cleanly. It's gone out of bounds. So we'll have it thrown in again. Pipicelli puts himself into the ruck. He'll go against Riley. It's another short throw in, and Riley taps it back up the line for the Stars. Here's Bo Vita. I would have thought he dropped it there, but umpire didn't see it. Armour puts him back inside 50, and Smith to Pippa Sally, and he's got that one. So it's been quite entertaining, the Goon inside 50 today, because you really do not know what you're going to get. There's been some easy misses. There've been some insane hangers, and just like that, there's been some plays where one person has a shot and then another person has a shot. So Smith got the kick from Armour there, his captain, and he had a snap for goal, and it ended up going right into the hands of Pippa Sally, who was really just in the way, and he turned and put it on the left boot for another major. So that'll get him going again. I think he needs that one.
Can you believe that's his second goal today? He's second, and he's been up there and in the marking contest all day. I cannot believe that's his second goal. Trigg almost got the ground ball there, and rudely interrupted there by the siren to mark 3/4 time. It has been a dominant performance for the Goon in back-to-back weeks. It's just been absolute class. We go into 3/4 time. They are up by 72 points in their first home game of the year. Do Garfield have any sort of response left in them? Let's see. We'll be taking a short break, and the final break of the day. It's Nana Goon up by 72 points going into 3/4 time.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good.
So we're back here for the Fairhaven Homes match of the round stream in the West Gippsland League in what has been a clash between Narnagoon and Garfield. And Narnagoon, they've just been so impressive today. Despite their inaccuracy woes, they are currently leading this one by 72 points and have really limited any opportunity for Garfield to effectively run their game. And it is effectively been Goon all day, Aiden.
Yeah, and the first half I thought they were great. They provided a lot of shots. But in that second quarter, it was the real Narnagoon that came out. So we're back in the middle. Trigg and Riley again. No one wins the tap. Burgoyne just roves it, finds some space, puts him inside 50 over the head of Marsham. Taken by Pipicelli, flicks it to Marsham. He'll run and take a bounce inside 50 and kick Goons first again. So back-to-back quarters, Tex Marsham has kicked their first goal.
That's goal of the day for me so far.
That was outstanding. And we've been praising the work of Nate Pipicelli, but mostly his work in the air. And that one on ground level, you talk about one-touch player. Just the grab and handball, and it was quick enough into enough space to let Marsham loose. And he ran and took a bounce inside 50 and made sure of it. So the Goon get their first of the term. Don't discount the work for Burgoyne in the middle too. Outstanding. So Trigg and Riley again. Trigg wins this one. The path of Herman, but he ran past it. It's picked up there by Garfield. This one will go on the head of Penny and Dalton. Dalton gets the left hand to it. Can't take the mark. Gets the shoe off the deck though. In the path of, they've got numbers here. Oh, I think that could have been holding. Not paid. It's picked up here by Hughes. And he'll find Burgoyne, and they're out now. So a bit of pressure put on there from Garfield, but they weren't able to score, unfortunately. And now the Goon are on the counter. Here's Hines. Looking for a handball. Here's Burgoyne again. I think that's his third or fourth touch already for the quarter. Goes inside 50 from Homfray in the way of Bovita. Couldn't take the mark again. Taken well there by, I think it might have been Spinks. Gives to Pickering, and his Skyball will just find Hines. So they're under pressure here, the Stars. Goon will go back inside 50. Here's Ferrari. Right on the numbers. Gives it to Burgoyne. He loads up. Has he kicked it? The umpire stands and puts the two fingers up. Trent Burgoyne. Well, it's been Nate Pipicelli's day, but Trent Burgoyne, in this first couple of minutes, has said, hold on, I'm playing too. I'll show you what I can do.
He's playing that in his last term. He's playing that sort of Tom Papley role where they've actually chucked him into the guts as a smaller forward, but his work through the midfield to start this quarter off has just been electric. I've loved what I've seen from Trent Burgoyne, the former Port Adelaide player, and here we go again. Can the Goon put the foot on the throat of Garfield even more? Burgoyne again with another contested possession, just fighting all day for it. So snapped out of the pack. Garfield trying to enter inside 50. No mark taken. I think it was Dolson there who really wanted it, but wasn't rewarded in the end. So thrown up again, Trigg. Hit out. Here is Parker. Haven't seen much of him since the first half. Just had to socket it across the wing there. And then Garfield now have a bunch of space open. Got to find a contested mark here. Nana Goon couldn't mark it. Instead, they exited. Murphy turns the ball over to Swaz of the Ethan variety. Then Riley sliding across the grounds and holds up play for a bit. Throws up his hands, looking for any option really. Then it's Barnes. Maybe looking for a more centralised option. Out to half forward. Oh, it just spilled out of the hands. That would have been a really impressive mark from Broxma. They're still in trouble here, Nana Goon, though. Ball spits out. And it's going to be called a throw, so Garfield are going to get a free. This is a big opportunity that is looming here. You got Riley wide open calling for it. Instead, they're going to go for contested. And no mark taken. And instead, it will go over the boundary line, Aiden.
You see, though, this is the sort of pressure they were putting on towards the end of the second term, where they were actually able to get it inside 50 and really press and get a few repeats. So it's really important that they capitalise on it here. It's tapped into the path of, I think that's Dalton on the bottom of the pack. He's claimed by a couple of Goon defenders, and we'll have a repeat stoppage. Inside 50 for the Stars, about 30 metres out. Here's Riley and Trigg, battled all day. I think they both got that tap, but Riley tapped it away in the direction in the end. Probably more, and it's kicked over the head. Interesting attempt there from Raxma. I mean, they haven't had many shots all day, so when you can create something, I guess just go for it. And he didn't miss that. It was pretty close. He didn't miss it by too much, but he probably had a bit more time. He probably didn't need to go over the head sort of bicycle kick style, but he did.
I think
behind.
I think Flynn Parker may have cropped one in the ribs there. He seems a bit sore, but Pipicelli tried to get it out to a teammate, but it was Homfrey who found himself in a 3v1 scenario. So it's going to be Jones who snaps it out a little bit and goes to Swaz and then kicks it further to Saws, I should have said, sorry, who then enters inside 50. Pickering fell over the top. How have they recovered? Nana Goon, but that is holding the ball. Great pressure from Ben Tennis Greenall. And there was no doubt about that free kick. Parker had plenty of time to get rid of it. And our Tennis Greenall from the toughest angle in footy. Looks to be about 20 or so outs. The second goal of the day, can they get it? No. Another behind for the Stars.
He's playing as a bit of a medium forward, Tennis Greenall, and he's actually been really solid without really taking the game on. He's provided a contest at every chance he's gotten, and he couldn't capitalise and get a major there, but he's providing plenty for Garfield on what's been a tough day up forward for them. Here's the Goon, though. Side 50, kick will come in the way of Marsham. He's pushed up to the wing. Just holds the game up, looking for an option. Had a switch, but he'll go further on the wing he's on already. This is Herman. Got a handball option, Purcell decides better of it. Puts it up the line. Garfield defender was directing traffic there, didn't know the ball was coming, but they win it regardless, and now it's in the middle with Murphy. Had an outstanding first half. Been a little quiet since. Providing plenty though. And the Stars look to counter-attack here. So they've had the game on their terms for the last 5 minutes. Haven't really capitalised from it though. It's been like that all day. The sides have been in a bit of an arm wrestle here and there. And I think it's a free kick on the lead there, and it'll go to Murphy. So I just said he's creating plenty. And he's been in defence all day, but that time he worked all the way up the ground, got deep, and then let out and took the footy in front of Penny, who infringed on his way. So Reece Murphy, he'll kick from about 52. It'll have to be a big effort. It's on the way. How's it set? It's going to fall short into the goal square and punched and booted up the line by Trigg. Didn't really look where that one was going. And Armour has been held. Well, that probably could have gone anyway. He didn't really ever have possession, so I see why they called it a hold. But at the same time, he did sort of throw it and tap it to himself. So he goes up the line. He's got a couple of numbers there. It's a 2-on-2. Parker works it with Marsham. Oh, shows the Duke. Bit of candy over the top of the defender. And now the kick inside 50. And it's good. Have they paid the mark? They have. So they just continue to excite the Nano Goon forwards. I was going to mention it before when this fella Burgoyne kicked that remarkable goal from outside 50. When they play like this, they're probably one of the most exciting teams in the comp to watch because they've got some electric players, both tall and small, forward of the footy. That just make you go, geez, I love this comp. So Burgoyne, for his second of the term, really making the quarter his. From 45 metres, the kick is good. And of course it was going to be. He is a superstar, Trent Burgoyne. And this quarter, he has been best afield by a long, long way. But really, this is the run from Marsham. Like, he's a big fella. He'd be pushing the 2 metre mark, big Tex Marsham. But the mobile, like, he took on a defender, showed the candy, and then sort of just carried it over his head. Took a bounce and found Trent Burgoyne. So the Goon have another. Unfortunate for Garfield there. They were pressing.
He's playing sort of like Jeremy Cameron because he's kicking goals down for Tex Marsham, but he's also finding himself going really further up the field on, oh no, maybe another Burgoyne! He's now going for his third. He hasn't even given me a chance to write down the details of his second. He has been superb. And he's now looking for his third. But as I was saying about Marsham, just his ability to move up the ground, find plenty of the footy, and then go down and kick goals as well. His athleticism as well. He has been one of the best in this third term. And now Burgoyne looking for number 3. A hat trick. Not quite. That's just going to stick to the left.
I was going to say, Trent Burgoyne, he's going to make a decision at the end of the game pretty hard in terms of who would get the 3 votes. Can't imagine what the umpires would have to go through because between him and Pipicelli, it's pretty tough at the moment. Just looks like he's just clearly at another level, Trent Burgoyne, as the Goon turn it over once again. They messed up the Garfield chain out of defence. And they had enough composure to find the skipper in Armour. And he'll line up from about the same spot that Burgoyne kicked his last goal. It's about 40, 45 metres out. Slight angle, but you'd back the skipper in from here.
Got a big boot on him, does Trent Armour, so.
He runs in. Kicks on the way. Distance is fine. And he's kicked it to the near side. Terrific day here at Nana Goon. Weather has been about as good as you get. The ground it's really held up magnificently. And the crowd is terrific. And the two sides have really showed that they can play some good footy, especially Nana Goon, who you'd think when they play like this are a genuine contender again in 2023. As that one's intercepted there by Cairns. He goes inside to Armour. And now it's Ferrari on the run. Left boot inside 50. Beautiful. Just a short one to Humphrey. This is Mitch.
Just some score updates from around the ground. It's Phillip Island beating Tooradin by 40 points. Who would have seen that one coming? It's Coralin beating Kooyurup by a fair amount. It's set shot there. Tricked them perfectly. And now they've got another opportunity.
I think that's the other Humphrey, is it?
Yeah, it looks to be Matt Humphrey.
It is.
It's Coralin. They're winning by 8 points over Kooyurup. And then if you look over for the AFL, it was Brisbane beating or still beating Fremantle by 39 points. As Homfrey goes through and he kicks another. He's had a pretty good day in front of goal as well. And Sydney's beating GWS by 18 points, 2 minutes left in the third term.
So it's been really pleasing in this second half to see Nanagoon really focus and take their time to not only create better shots, but finish them. So they had the incredible 16 behinds in the first half, but they've definitely shored that up and are kicking more majors in the second half, and it's pleased certainly everyone in the hoops and then all the Nanagoon faithful that have come out today. So back in the middle, Pipicelli will go up against Riley. Beautiful tap in the way of Herman, but he was claimed immediately. I think that was Griffiths. He's gone into the middle. It was. So we'll have another stoppage. It'll be Pipicelli and Riley again. Riley gets the tap. That was pretty good. In the way of Saws, he puts him inside 50. Big contest. Pickering comes to the front. Nanagoon first to it. Tried to get through. That's got to be holding the ball. Not paid. Now it's Penny. He can't get away. Great pressure here from Garfield. Kicked off the ground and it finds Murphy. The umpire calls play on though. So that was exciting from Garfield. Probably the most pressure that Nanagoon have been under all day in defence. Quick stoppage and then a lot of forward pressure after the ball hit the deck as well. Pipicelli climbs over the top of Riley. Flicks it to Murphy. Here's Penny. His handball go up the line, back to Pipicelli. It's a 1-on-3. And it'll go over the boundary line. So you see the pressure immediately when the ball went Pipicelli's way. 3 Stars defenders went at him because they know how much it would take to bring him down. And be thrown in again. Pipicelli and Riley. Pipicelli, the double-handed hit in the way of Murphy, but it'll go back out of bounds. Half forward for the Stars.
So if I'm Garfield here, I just want to see a hit out one by the ruck and then just some quick movement out of the contest here. So here we are. Do we see that opportunity? No, Riley lost it straight away. Caught holding the ball. They're actually going to call advantage. Jeez, that's a questionable decision. Nonetheless, here come the Goon. So running is Homfrey. Went for a big run, in fact. The click wasn't clean, though. Oh, Burgoyne nearly took a massive climb. Bovita, has it made it? No, it was just going across the line. Garfield still under immense pressure. Marsham tackled, holding the ball. And geez, Burgoyne went up for a climb there. Was really unlucky to not get it in the end. But nonetheless, Garfield kick it out towards the wing. Ball goes to ground once again. Nanagoon have just been better in this aspect all day. And Sauce will just tap it over the boundary line.
So what I would say a big positive is in terms of the Stars is they've never stopped fighting. They've like that play there. They were really inundated with pressure with the ball coming in so quickly, and Burgoyne being ever dangerous. But they've held up all day. Their back six, particularly deep in defence, have been absolutely outstanding considering the amount of ball that's come through there. And they've just continued to hold up and weather the storm. Obviously, they're well out of this one on the scoreboard, but the effort is there, and as we see another turnover from the Stars, and Homfrey will get it again. He's been good this quarter. Another short one in the way of, guess who? Trent Burgoyne. So, all the other teams around the league, if you're watching, when you come up against Nanagoon, you are going to be in trouble if you don't have some genuinely good defenders to take Trent Burgoyne and Nate Pipicelli, because they've just been waxing today in terms of opportunities in front of goal.
I think Burgoyne would really be putting his hand up with today's performance for a spot in Casey's side next week in the VFL. He is being superb today.
He comes in. He'll kick from about 45. It's on the way. Distance is fine. It's there. Of course it is. Trent Burgoyne's third of the quarter. And the Goon are running away with it. But for those who haven't been watching all game, they've got better as the game's gone on. They were sort of playing as half themselves in the first half, but they're in fifth gear at the moment. And they're showing the league that they might have had that tough season opener at Inverloch, but And that hasn't stopped them from being contenders again. Trent Burgoyne starring in this quarter. So we're back in the middle. Pipiselli and Riley once again. They've had a good battle in this final term. Held without it was Smith. So he'll have it for the Goon inside the centre square still. Called to play on. So he goes out to the wing. Good kick. And that's Hughes. Hughes goes quickly up the line. And he'll have Murphy. Murphy's short kick in the way of Trigg. So the big fella, he's had a bit of a rest up forward this quarter. He's battled really hard in the ruck. You've got to hand it to him. He's run the ruck most of the afternoon, and Pipiselli's gone in this final term to give him a break, and now he's got a shot on goal. So tight angle, he's deep in the pocket. He'll kick from about 40 metres. It's a very high one. I don't even think it'll make it, has it? They celebrate. Eamon Triggs kicked the goal. So that's one of those ones where, I don't want to say it, but it's a bit of a ruckman's kick. It's gone very, very high, and it's just made the distance, or they've failed to punch it over. But either way, it's 6 points to Nanagoon. So Trigg, without being outstanding today, has been really solid. He's done his job to the best of his ability. He's had a great battle with Riley of Garfield, and now he's got himself on the board with a goal.
So now Pipiselli taking on the ruck duties. He's played a little bit of everywhere today. He was mainly down forward for most of the day, but even has found himself down back and now in the ruck. And Nanagoon actually rate him really high internally in the ruck position as well. Pipiselli had to stretch out the arms to get it, but in the end, got a good hold of the footy. Tried to find Purcell, but was just pressured too much in the end. So now Ben Tennis Greenall was really just suffering the heavy defence from Nanagoon by the hands of JJ Penny. And then a stoppage called nearly at half forward for Garfield. And although you can tell that they're a bit depleted by this loss, they've certainly got it a bit closer to the goals in this quarter, which is good to see. So once again, out here on the wing, Pipiselli winning that hit out. It was almost Hines that got to it. Garfield exiting out of the contested scenario with speed and entering inside 50. Pickering! No mark taken. And they've got the numbers out the back here, Nanagoon. So Smith, eyes darting, looking for anyone. Does Penny have the speed to get to the footy? Didn't take a mark, but he got there first. And then it was good defence from Evans to force it over the boundary line.
So you're definitely right. The one thing you'd be happy about if you're Garfield, they're a building team, obviously. So the intent is there, and it's been there all game. They won't be too worried. Obviously, it's a big loss. They're obviously down by over 100 at the moment. But they won't be too worried about Nanagoon. They're just classier. They're a better all-round side, really, at a different stage of their development, really. So they can really hang their hats on their intent and their fight, which has been there all day.
Griffiths looks ginger there.
I think Griffiths... Well, the ball's going to come to him. He's going to have to lay a tackle. I think he's holding his right ankle. It's been a pretty hot one in the second half in terms of contested ball, but the Goon will try and go inside 50 now. They've made a bit of a meal of it, but they've still got the footy, and now it's in the hands of Boveda. So in the second half, they've really focused on their leads at the footy and created a lot of space. I think their forwards have worked a lot better together than in the first half. And a lot of the ball that's come in has just been almost impossible to defend. It's those short kicks to a lead where the forwards got a lot of separation.
It's been the small forward as well, which I'll let Boveda kick his goal here.
So the kick's on the way. It's a high one. Distance not a problem, and it's there.
But that was the thing we were begging for Garfield to do in that first half, just to lower the eyes and have their small forwards really lead out and make strong leads in front of their opponents and take those uncontested marks and then roll in on those set shots. But Garfield have just... I should say Nanagoon have done that to absolute perfection, especially in this fourth quarter with their small forwards through Trent Burgoyne, and we've now just seen Boveda as well. They've just their leading ability with their small forwards has just been outstanding in this fourth term, and here we go again. So I think it was Herman there who hit the deck pretty hard, and it's gone out into open space for Garfield. They'd be looking for a clean lead inside 50. Instead, it's going to a contest. Pickering, and they're going to pay that. They will. Jet Pickering. Looks directly in front here. It was a good mark as well under a lot of pressure. There was about 6 or 7 players in a small area there, all going for the footy. But good job, Jet Pickering. Looking for Garfield's seconds, directly in front. Nice work.
And he's another one. I talked about Tex Marsham before, and for Nana Goon, and Jet Pickering's another one that really hit his straps last year. He sort of it broke out, and in a couple games he was really good at both ends of the ground, really, for Garfield, and he's definitely got a lot of ability. He's a youngster, so he'll learn a lot from games like this. But they've certainly got one in him, and that was a great mark, terrific mark, and it really gives Garfield a late highlight, you could say. But I should mention, we're talking about the Goon forwards before, and I wasn't sure what to expect without the big fella down there, and obviously Yornie out with the hand injury, but the small forwards and Pipicelli have really stood up today. So we're back in the middle, Humphrey and Riley. And they've kicked, I think that was kicking in danger against Hines. So Griffiths will take it. He looks all right. He was a bit shaken up before. His kick's not the best, though. It's picked up by Smith. Smith's having a great final term in defence for Goon. And he's found Humphrey. This is Mitch. Goes in the direction of Boveda. And he's marked on the wing. He's coming live as well. Inside 450 for the Goon. He's called to play on. Goes this little dinky short one. Bit cheeky there. And Humphrey worked really well inside 50 to create an option. And they're just waxing it. So Humphrey to Boveda. To Humphrey. Back to Boveda. And he'll line up for his second of the term. This time a much sharper angle. About the same distance. So he's definitely got the leg. And instead he'll square it up a bit. Probably a good option. And this is Jed Smith. So I called Jake Smith. He's having a good term in defence, but this is Jed. So you come in, you kick from about 50, right on the numbers. Called play on. The kick was hurried a little bit, and it'll hang out to the right. So it took a little bit too much time. I was talking about them taking their time and making sure of them, but Smith taking a little bit too much that time.
And although that it resulted in a behind in the end, that entire sequence started off Jake Smith. I know he probably doesn't have the intercepting ability as the player I'm about to compare him to, but he sort of plays like Mason Wood this year, where you can find him in defence just roaming around there, but he is also frequently found on the wing, and his ability to kick the footy with precision over the past 2 weeks, from what I've noticed, has just been really classy, and I love watching Smith play as Humphrey is in the ruck there, punches it out, and then it should go over the boundary line here, but no, it was kept in by Garfield. Unfortunately, though, went straight back to Nana Goon. Now inside 50, the lead almost hits the defender on the chest. It was Brent Hughes going for that one, but that is all for today. Nana Goon have put on an absolute clinic, beating Garfield by a huge margin. If I can actually work it out here. Jeez.
So they've finished it off. The second half was massive. They won it by 108 points.
108, yeah.
Which is just really... If you watch the game without the scoreboard in the first half, you wouldn't have thought it was that much of a separation. But in the second half, like I said, they just really turned the Jets on and played some scintillating footy at times. Just some of the footy that you just sit back and go, I love watching this team. Showing that they're a contender in as I said, in fifth gear. They They put on a massive second half and kicked a bit straighter, took their time and opened up the 108-point lead. So deserved winners today, the Goon. Some standout performances from, obviously, Nate Pipicelli. He may be wondering what more it could have been, but either way, absolutely mega up forward for the Goon. And then also Trent Burgoyne probably played a lot more in the middle in the first half, and then they threw him forward throughout the third and back in the middle. And that fourth quarter is probably one of the best you'll see this season, with 3 goals. And may I tell you that they obviously still have Dermot Yorney to come back into the side. So when you've got Nate Pipicelli having a game like today, and you've still got obviously one of the top 3 leading goal kickers from last season to come back in, they're a force to be reckoned with, the Goon.
Yeah, certainly. And we'll be moving on to our post-game show now, where we'll give our votes. Who have you got down for 1 vote, in your opinion, Aiden?
Well, I'd really like giving votes to both teams, if you can. And I'd love to give one to someone from the Stars, but I think it'd just be wrong of me to give someone from them a vote when Nana Goon were just absolutely superb. So I think you could mention an honourable mention. I think he goes under the radar, but Brendan Herman was outstanding all game. Similar Eamon Trigg in the ruck. And then their defenders. You could mention all of them. Obviously, we're talking about Smith before, Aiden Pipicelli. But I think the best thing that they did was they threw Tex Marsham forward in the second half. And he really took the game by the scruff of the neck and helped them really become themselves again and play some really slick football. So I think I'll give Marsham 1. I think, and then obviously the other 2 are quite obvious. You could chop and change, but yeah, Trent Burgoyne and Nate Pipicelli. I think if the umpires could, they could probably give them both 3 because they were incredible as well.
Yeah, for my 1 vote, I think we're going to have the exact same here. I think Marsham, when he went up forward and his ability to affect the play in the forward line, as well as go a bit further up the ground and play in the centre of the grounds, he impacted the contest so much, especially in that second half. 2 votes, I'll definitely give it to Trent Burgoyne. Wasn't a superb standout sort of player in that first half, but especially in that last quarter, there was no doubt if you're kicking 3 and having multiple disposals to your name as well, you've got to go down for at least some. And then, Nate Pipicelli is my 3 vote getter as well. Obviously wasn't as accurate as he would have liked today, but his contested marking ability and even his versatility throughout that fourth quarter as well, where he played a little bit in defence, played a little bit in the ruck, and was still able to impact the game to a huge level, I thought was just simply brilliant. But unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. This has been your Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream between Nana Goon and the Garfield Stars. I have been your commentator, Bailey Allen, joined by my co-commentator, Aidan Box. We'll see you next week, Saturday, 2 p.m, for what should be another great clash in the West Gippsland League. It was Nana Goon beating Garfield by 108 points.